Hey Trackies, welcome back to another video here on TXT Track Time. Trackies, please remember to like the video and also subscribe to the channel. Now Trackies, in light of all of the drama, surrounding Elaine Thompson Hira, we've decided to switch focuses and, look into, what next for her. Now, as you guys should already know, she did not make the individual team to head off to the World Championships this year. Also, it's been 2 years in her new training, setup, and we haven't been seeing, either consistency or her getting any better. As a matter of fact, she has rapidly declined. Now, Chucky, the question is it a case where her injuries are not being managed sufficiently, or is there a question with the coaching? Now, Elaine Thompson here herself has come out and said, look here, I'm still doing the same things in training, nothing has not changed. But of course, trackies, seasons change. And, even though you're working with a program, sometimes, you may need to tweak said program. Is it a case where, said tweaking has not been happening for Elaine this season? Also, trackies, renowned track expert, Hubert Lawrence himself also did say that he spoke with Elaine Thompson Hira already, and she has indicated like some days she goes home crying because listen, I'm putting in the work. I know I am putting in the work, but I'm not getting the expected results. So, again, it lands on the quote unquote coaching trackies. So if, coaching is the issue with Elaine Thompson Hero, on top of her, being consistently hampered with injuries, what could she look at, to do next going forward, right? Again, let's look at, her coaching options. Now, of course, there's a possibility of heading on overseas. Now, quite a few names have been thrown out, for her to, head on over to, maybe the United States and be coached there. And one prominent name that keeps popping up, is Bobby Kersey. Now, even though he's also a renowned coach, there have been question marks over his handling of Alison Felix, considering that she got no faster in the sprint events, right? So in light of all of that, Chuckies, and not me having enough information on these coaches, these American coaches, to me right now it's like sending Elaine over there on a wild goose chase, to find a good coach in America. Again, she's 31, she's not getting any younger. So we have to find a setup and find a setup now, one that she'll be able to assimilate herself into seamlessly and hopefully, get back on top. You know what I mean? So I understand, looking for a coach elsewhere, outside of Jamaica, but honestly, time is against Elaine in terms of, being able to get back at her best in the sport. So looking outside to me is maybe not the best option. So let's take a look at what is available to her, in Jamaica. And this is where the drama never ends. Now, of course, MVP, without a doubt, is out of question, and also elite performance, right? So, which top clubs? We have a lot of clubs in Jamaica, but I'm only going to be focusing on the top clubs, right? So, which top clubs could she possibly head on to? No, there's Titans trackies. Titans is a small outfit, right? Before Brianna Williams, they didn't really have any females there, and Brianna Williams is their girl there now training, right? Trackies, why this would be a good option to me, save the fact that again I've been talking about the primary focus of these coaches, if they're able to give her the attention required, because remember her injuries need the attention, she needs that proper care, right? So if they're able to give her the attention she needs without taking anything away from Brianna, because that's always the issue I've heard multiple times, where a coach can't focus on two top sprinters at the same time. So if it is that they're able to focus on Elaine just as much as they're focusing on Brianna, right, I think that would be a good option. Why? The club itself seems like a good place to be at mentally. It seems drama free. Also, track is again, because it's a small outfit, I think she'll be able to get some really real personalized attention there, and hopefully get her back on top. The other club that I'm looking at also is Racers. Now, I've always heard people say, "Oh, Racers is not good with females," but honestly, I'm wondering if Racers just hasn't had those caliber females end up at the club. But you never know. So racers is always, a good option as it relates to Elaine. And why is racers also a good option in my mind? Because I'm thinking back to when Usain Bolt was there and thinking back to the specialized attention that he was able to get, considering, what he was suffering from, with his spine. So, they were able to, ensure that all his training, was, really specialized so that he could get to his best. And he was also someone that was, highly injury prone back in the day. So they took real good care of him to be able to get him on top. So again, that's another good option for Elaine if she is seeking out, a new training structure. The other club that people are throwing out there is Spring Tech. I'm not leaning towards Spring Tech. The reason why, to me, it's similar to MVP in terms of the size. They have the school that they have to be focusing on, plus also, the club athletes. So track is that, to me, is too many athletes, and Elaine, in my opinion, will not be able to get, that specialized focus that she requires, because again, she is injury prone, trackies, and they have to be able to manage those injuries in order to get her to her best. So again, I'm not thinking a club that is big is the best place for Elaine Thompson here. So now, with that said, Trackies, I've thrown out the clubs that she could possibly take a shot at heading off to. But at the end of the day, of course, it comes down to Elaine Thompson here and what she wants. Again, Elaine has to, have deep introspection, look at herself and say, okay, I've already tried it. I've tried it for 2 years and it's not going how I want it to go. Based on her own words, in tears, she's already reported that, listen, I'm putting in the work. I know I'm putting in the work and I'm not getting the results. So it's fine if you're saying to yourself, okay, Elaine, I've done my best. It's time for me to look elsewhere. Nothing is wrong with that. But again, it starts, of course, with Elaine. She has to make the first step. And I believe, she'll make the right decision for herself to be able to continue in the sport. She is a fighter, trackies. She didn't have to line up, at the senior championship. She could have just said, you know what, like we saw from many of our top guns deciding to not show up for one reason or another. We already heard from her that she's been suffering through a multitude of injuries, hampering her progress this season. As such, it would have been fine to Jamaica if she said, okay, you know what, I'm going to sit this one out. We would have understood. But the fighter in her, she turned up at the line anyway, and she ran her best. And her best so far was 11:06 to, land her fifth place in the finals. So Trackies, again, with that kind of mindset, she will rise again. So it's up to her though. She has to make that decision to, move her career, forward in the right direction. Anyway, Trackies, sound off in the comment section below. This is a positive video, Trackies. Please don't turn it into something that it is not. I'm asking you. Anyway, like the video and subscribe to the channel. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.